think the problem's gonna arise because who's ahead? These guys or you guys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they are closer. So what you're gonna have to do is essentially, if I put it on paint, this is what it looks like, right? This is the equivalent of, you know, highway lanes, right? Right? This is the equivalent of this. So
Emerging.
what they recommend, and this is like usually what's the case is, right? You don't go all the way to the end and then try to merge. Okay? And the benefit in the real world is the fact that you can merge because other people let you. Right? In Fortnite, it's not so nice. People don't let you. Right, so if this is someone's tunnel, what are you gonna do? You ram it into the wall, like.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I guess really.
That's why you need to do this
but
earlier.
definitely need to decide.
Instead of this, I think this is what you need to do. And if you cut them off, if you make your tunnel like this, like if you make your tunnel like this, and get in front of them like that, then they can't. Then you're good, right? But you can't wait till the last second to get in. I think that's where the death is gonna come from. Like all these layers are taken. You see pikes on this layer. You see this guy on this layer. This guy above. The layer below is taken. Like it actually looks horrible. The only play that I see that's viable, and it's not that like there is solutions, right? But it's just tough. You have to steal the tarp. You have to let them go all the way ahead. You steal the tarp and you sneak up behind them and double pump. I think that's actually the only play you might have. This is so scary. This is so risky. I don't recommend this.
Yeah.
This is so scary. This is how you lose teammates. Like it's good that you guys survive. But I think if you run this back 10 games in a row, like the same strategy, it will not work all 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way I think about it.
That was definitely like really risky.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
And watching the VOD, I definitely feel it. Here, the worry, and the reason I don't like the pad as well, is if it pulls up the hill, you're just dead. You just lose. Right? And so you need to account for that. Every zone, you need to look at the minimap, be like, okay, where are the mountains? There's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right here. And because of the fact that there's so many mountains, a mountainous region, we need to consider the fact that it's most likely going to pull up a hill. For sure. Right? There's the only chance it doesn't pull up a hill is if it goes literally this way. Very specific, by the way. Very specifically this way. Or like this way. Like on the roads, I guess. I guess it's not that bad. I'd say 50-50 chance that it goes up a hill or doesn't go up a hill. Either way, I think you should account for it because in the previous like tunnel, you're on a higher layer, which is good. That was a good layer. But I don't think you should take that launch pad. I think you should stay on a higher layer. I think dropping down all the way to where you guys are is it's potentially a depth end. But it's like if you're playing in World Cup, do you want to coin
really
flip
risky
your life?
playing down low.
Yeah. You don't want to coin flip it. I'd rather play in a way that works for both cases, not just for one.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So like this is why the reason I'm saying this and why I'm so strict about this is because people ask me the question like, oh, how do I be more consistent? This is how you be more consistent. You do everything that accounts for all the cases, because it's not the fact that you're inconsistent. Like you're just playing in a wrong way that will work sometimes and doesn't work sometimes. So if you fix it to work in all 10 games, like in all cases, then yeah, you'll do good. You'll do really good. However, what I will say is you should absolutely take advantage of this. This is a beautiful zone for you. Like it's really good. What should you do? You need to drop down low. Right? And you need to drop down low. There may be someone in here. We have the luxury of replay, so we know there's no one back here, but you can replace 2 double ramp here and then claim here. And what you should actually tank storm to do it. Right? And people don't realize that you should tank storm because I think if you claim the layer and you place all your builds up here, then no one can take.
Especially because I have 4 floppers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you tank storm.
I have plenty of health.
This is the main reason. Do you remember the bandy cannon?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a very valued item in competitive, and not many people knew this. It was insane. Yes, it was very, very good. It's because you can tarp ahead. If you watch any P-God gameplay back in the day, he would literally have a pepper and the bandy cannon, and he would go like, let's say this was the zone and this is the front side. He would literally tarp until like here and then run back.
Yeah.
Bandy cannon. And then like, how does someone stop you? You can't stop that guy. Right now he claimed this entire layer for himself. By the time zone actually uncovers his tunnel, it's full built, and he's just established his place, and it's really easy to knock die. They have low ground for free here. I don't think you should allow them to do that. I think you can claim it before they do. So think about it this way as well. Who has expanding side, Kingston or Fiber?
I do.
Exactly. And so you have priority. You have the dibs on that layer. You get to pick. And would you rather sec this layer or the down low? I would say you would prefer down low. That's my...
Yeah, definitely down low.
Right?
Just
because there's save more mats. There's no way you get sprayed from below. Whole bunch of benefits from it. Big deal. Now, they're threatening you. They can, spray your bottoms here, and it's really scary.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Obviously, you can pressure them, but then
especially since we only have wood. It's like really scary to me.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think if you go low ground, you're gonna get fought as well. But actually, I think that's what you want, no? You do want
Yeah.
to fight, and so that's a
Probably
that's a.
try
I don't mind that at all.
refresh.
As long as you're aware about it, and so I'm seeing a pattern here, which is usually and this is very important. I think a lot of duos can benefit from this if they heard it. You need to actually have the initiative or like the dibs on a play. Like you need to create the play. And so if you just constantly just wait until you're, I don't know what we're waiting for, like 0 builds or whatever, like we need to create the play. Because if someone creates a play on us, we're gonna get hit, obviously. And because they have the first shot, and we're just gonna lose the fight. So we're just never gonna win the fight. I just don't see the area where we win the fight. And now we split. Usually the split happens because of panic, because of the surprise factor from the fact that these guys made the play on you and you not on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is why usually when I say like, oh, you're like 30 to 20 builds in duos, start aggressively looking to make a play on someone. Take a wall, like actually pressure stuff. Because if you just sit there and not actually make a play, like the impact won't come to you. It can, but it's a very low chance. I think of this like there's opportunistic impacts, and then there's impacts that you create. There's impacts that you make happen. And so impacts that you make happen are way, way better because you can just choose, okay, I want to make an impact happen. I'm going to go up to this guy's tunnel and smack his wall. But opportunistic impacts usually come from the opponent making a mistake. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe they walk onto your wall. They shouldn't be doing that, though. If you go into a pro game, they'd never do that. So like that's why opportunistic impacts rarely happen in a higher level game. That's why people are just, trying to make them happen themselves. But yeah, either way, this game is it's doomed from here. It's very obvious that it's doomed because you guys are split. You're missing half your HP, which comes from the fact that they made the play on you, and we don't have mats to tunnel, so it's just really tough.